Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle something that drives almost everyone crazy, Microsoft Word tables. If you've ever felt like you're literally wrestling with your document just to get it to look right, well, you're about to get the upper hand. Let's turn all that frustration into total control.
So let me just ask you this. Does this look familiar? You're trying to do something that should be simple, right? Like add a row. And suddenly, the table just seems to have a mind of its own. You're lost in this maze of menus, and you can just feel that deadline creeping closer and closer. If that sounds anything like your typical Tuesday afternoon, you are in exactly the right place.
All right, let's dive right in. The absolute foundation of taming any table is just mastering how you select stuff. I know, it sounds super basic, but you're going to see how one tiny change here makes a massive difference down the line.
Okay, so this is what I call the scenic route. It's the way most of us probably learned. You click in the table, you go hunting for the Layout tab up top, you find the Select button. It's a whole journey just to select a column. And honestly, it's a total workflow killer.
But what if I told you that entire trip up to the ribbon is completely 100% unnecessary? What if you could do it all, right there with your mouse, without ever leaving the table itself? And here it is. This is the magic trick. To grab a whole column, you just hover your mouse right above the top edge till you see that little black arrow. Then click. Bam. Done. For a row, just click to the left of it. Or, if you want a few cells, just click and drag. It is truly that simple and that fast.
Okay, so now you're a pro at selecting things. Let's talk about adding new rows and columns, because the very last thing you want to do when you're in the zone is go on another safari through the menus.
This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, that's the long, winding road through the ribbon. But on the right, that's the smart way. Just look for that little plus sign that pops up when you hover between rows or columns. One click, and you're done. Or, even better, a simple right-click brings the whole menu right to you. It is a total game changer.
The source material we used for this explainer had the absolute perfect word for this. It's jugaad, a Hindi word for a clever, kind of resourceful hack that just simplifies your life. And that's exactly what this is. We're using these simple tricks to get our time back and stay focused.
So we've added stuff with no problem. But what about getting rid of rows and columns? Well, you probably guessed it. There's a much smarter way that keeps you far, far away from that top menu.
And here's the best part. You don't even have to select the entire row or column first. Nope. Just click in any cell in the row you want to get rid of, right-click, and hit delete. Word is smart enough to figure out what you mean. It's just incredibly efficient.
And this same logic works for the entire table. So if you decide, you know what, this table and I are breaking up, don't go through some long, drawn-out process. Just right-click anywhere inside it, and Delete Table is right there waiting for you. One click, and it's gone.
Okay, before we wrap this up, I've got two more little bonus tools for your toolkit. These are super handy, especially when you start getting a little fancy with how your tables look. First one is View Grid Lines. Oh man, this is an absolute lifesaver. You ever make your table borders invisible to get that nice, clean look, but then you can't tell where one cell ends and the next one begins? This tool brings back a faint little outline so you can actually see what you're doing.
And number two, the Eraser tool. This is actually a really fun and intuitive way to merge your cells. Forget all that selecting and clicking merge. Just grab the eraser and literally click on the lines you want to disappear. It's kind of like drawing, but, in reverse.
So let's just pull back for a second. We've taken something that used to be a real chore, and we've turned it into a series of quick, intuitive moves. The big takeaway here? You are in control of the table. It's not the other way around anymore.
So here it is, your new toolkit in a nutshell. When you need to select, just click and drag. When you need to insert, look for that handy little plus sign. And for pretty much everything else, just remember, the right-click menu is your new best friend. Seriously, forget the ribbon. Your mouse has all the power you need.
By using these simple hacks, you're not just saving a few seconds here and there. You're actually changing your whole relationship with the software. You're making it work for you, and that frees up your time and, more importantly, your mental energy for what really matters, your ideas. So, with your tables completely tamed, the only question left is, what are you going to create?